And from where I sit, publishing, your balance sheet, and then looking at these numbers coming up, it tells you so many things. There are so many attributes to those increments. Either they are abusing their operational, autonomy that they have. For governance autonomy, we know very well that they don't have it because, the Bank of Ghana being appointed by the president and the president having representatives on the board and all those, I know for governance autonomy, they will not have it. But for operational autonomy, which was the last straw that we're holding on, it has been abused, especially in Dr. Addison's, Bank of Ghana. Let me put it that way. Because, clearly, if a Bank of Ghana would print money and finance, a budget deficit, it's a way of meddling with the fiscal, aspects of the economy. But under normal circumstance, I'm not saying that central banks are not supposed to come to a rescue when economies are not doing well. I've heard several reasons why we find ourselves in trouble, why the Bank of Ghana had to print money because they had to rescue the economy. I understand. But if a central bank wants to rescue an economy, they don't channel the money through the government circles. There is a logical reason why, the central bank can only finance the government's expected revenue in a particular fiscal year up to only 5%. And there's a reason for that. The reason being that the central bank, per the act, is supposed to wire money into the economy through the monetary channel, not the fiscal channel. The monetary channel to the banks. Let me give you this scenario. We had a situation where banks had their investment restructured, as a result of investing in government bonds. That frees, one way or the other, the liquidity performance of the banks. So if a central bank wants to get money into the economy, which channel will be the best? The best channel will be to wire it through the banks, in the process of lending to the banks at a particular rate. And then the banks will take the money, having learned a lesson that if they invest in government instrument, there will be a problem, or possibly they are not that safe. The banks would have taken that money and start looking into the economy, which sectors of the economy are doing well, and then lend to those sectors. We'll still rebuild the economy back. But wiring it and giving it to the fiscal side, looking at, the financing expenditures of the government, in a way, all those monies, are monies that are likely, about 60% of that will go into, social policies. You are not making sense as a bank. So from where I sit, they've messed up big time, in a sense that the channel of operations that they're supposed to stand for, they didn't use those channels to rescue the economy. And as a result of that, it was more or less like the money being sunk down into the drain. If you look at the Bank of Ghana's operations very well, every single money that they pump into the economy, in the long run, it is expected that they will use their own monetary policies to mop up those monies, at least get about 60% of those monies into the folds of the Bank of Ghana. But from the way those monies were distributed, I don't think even if government wants to mop up, if they want to use monetary policy to mop up, they will get, that kind of effect. And so you will see monetary policy being increased here and there, and inflation is still hanging in the air. So from where I sit, I think they moved away from their core mandate, which is to ensure that, they come into a rescue of the economy through the monetary channel instead of what? The fiscal channel. So that's the mistake they made. And I think it has to do with the relationship the governors have with the government. And it's a build-up of the governance, autonomy compromise that we have in the system. Because if a governor is appointed by the president and the president wants certain lines of policies, it will be tempting, to coerce, this governor to send money into sectors that not necessarily wire the money through the Ministry of Finance, and the monies will end up in sectors that are unproductive, in a way to rescue the economy.